Hi everybody, this is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. I'm coming to you today from my pantry. This isn't a pantry tour though, but I thought I would come in here to just kind of get in the mood to make a few points with you on something that's really been bothering me, well, the last few weeks, but especially the last couple of days. Now everybody knows that it's been said all across the country about emptying store shelves. Things are getting a little more scarce. We've all been concerned about the supply chains, all that kind of stuff. This isn't a video to talk about all of that. I think we're all becoming aware and we're all adult enough to figure out what's going on and to prepare our families for what could be small inconveniences or what could end up being some pretty good shortages that might drag on for a while. Today, what I wanted to go over was, I love to watch other people's videos. I love to watch all kind of things about prepping, homesteading, gardening, just a variety. And what I have been noticing in the comments of a lot of the videos, in the comments, I'm not talking about any particular channel or anything, I'm talking about the comments among people talking to each other. What I've noticed is a lot of people have been saying, go out and get your heirloom seeds, only buy heirloom seeds. And people, rightly so, only want to go stock up on heirloom seeds. Now, I can completely understand that. I really do. I love heirloom seeds. If you've watched any of my Seeds-A-Palooza videos, you know I am very top heavy in heirloom seeds. I love them. I love the stories. I just love the taste and the different textures and just vegetables you can get that you can't get at the grocery store. So yes, I do buy a lot of heirloom seeds. I have a lot of heirloom seeds and I'm very happy about that at this particular time in our country. However, I disagree with telling someone to only go out and buy heirloom seeds. I disagree with having people fearful of buying a hybrid seed right now because they can't save seeds from it. Let me just discuss with you my thoughts on this. These are my thoughts. Your thoughts might be totally different. Share them with me if they are. I completely understand. But here are my thoughts, and here are some points I think people should think about when they're going out and buying seeds and when they're reading all the comments saying you should only be buying heirloom seeds. Maybe when you're reading those comments, you'll think of me, think of some of these points I make. I don't have a punch list. I'm just going to go through what's on the top of my mind right now. Okay. I'm not a seed expert. I love gardening, but I'm not a seed expert. I think there are some really good videos out there if you really want to learn a whole lot about seed saving itself. This isn't a seed saving video. If you want to learn a lot about seed saving, I suggest you go watch one of Jess's videos at Roots and Refuge. You can just Google it, Roots and Refuge, seed saving. And I think she did it either last year or a couple of years ago. And it's just been a great reference video for me too. So if you want to click away and go watch it now, I understand. But this isn't a video per se about seed saving. This is about the difference between thinking you only have to buy heirloom seeds when you go out and purchase seeds and giving some hybrid seeds some space in your seed bank during these hard times that we may or may be approaching. So this is my opinions. Okay, what is an heirloom? I just do simple explanations. If you have a plant, I like to use my hands. If you have a plant and it grows and it's grown that way for years and it grows again and you take a seed from that plant and you plant it again the next year and the same exact plant comes up, that is what they call an open pollinated seed, a seed that's true to itself. And after it does that for many years, it'll sometimes get this distinction of being an heirloom. So an heirloom or an open pollinated means that you can take the seed from that plant and get that same plant again. Now that's the plus in only buying heirloom seeds. And that's what I think the gist that I'm hearing on the internet all the time is so that you can plant something, save the seeds, get that plant again, save the seeds, get that plant again for perpetuity. I get that. And I agree with telling people to make sure they have heirloom seeds. A hybrid is when there's a mama plant and a daddy plant. Maybe they're heirlooms as well. It depends on which plants they use to breed them. But people who know what they're doing, even farmers, gardeners who really know what they're doing, can take the best aspects from this plant and this plant. They breed those plants together and they make a new plant that grows. Okay, well, that new plant is called a hybrid. It's a mixture of the mama and the daddy plant that they've bred together, and it's called a hybrid. Now, the reason on the internet you may be hearing, don't buy hybrid seeds, you can't save hybrid seeds, is because, yes, when they take that mama plant and that daddy plant, they're taking characteristics and characteristics, putting them together, making a new plant. If that plant grows and you take a seed off of it and plant it in the ground, you may end up, well, you're going to end up with the same kind of plant, a tomato, a cucumber, whatever. You're going to end up with the same kind of plant, but you just may end up with a lot more of the mom than the dad. You may end up with something completely different than the plant you saw growing in your yard that you saved the seed from and you planted the seed. It's not a bad thing. I mean, you'll still end up, say, with a cucumber or a tomato. So it's not a bad thing. If you get in a situation where you need food desperately, you're going to get some food out of it. You just can't control, because the seed's not controlled. When they call it an F1 hybrid, it means it's a first generation breeding of these two plants, of the mom and the dad coming together and making that plant. First generation. So it's not stable, they call it. It's not a stabilized seed. And a lot of times these companies make those hybrids. They are the only ones that have the patent on it. They keep breeding them for a while, and then they might just quit making that one ever again, and you can't get that seed anymore. The bad part about it is that you just don't know what you're getting. The good part about it is, when they make a hybrid, they are trying to take the best of this plant and the best of this plant and make a really good version of those two plants put together. Now, what does this have to do with saving seeds? Well, hybrids a lot of times are bred, they're put together and they're bred to make a plant that is maybe stronger. It resists blight. It might resist nematodes. It might be made to grow in certain conditions better than the two parent plants may be used to. A lot of them are bred for productivity. They're just made to be prolific. So here's my thing. When I'm talking about prepping, when I'm talking about saving seeds and what I grow, I have a picture in my mind at all times of my grandchildren. I do what I do for them. I do what I do to make sure that if things get bad, there's a place they can go to get a lot of food. Now, their parents are their first line of defense. I get that. But their parents are like we were when we were younger and just married. They're working. They're doing their thing. They've got to get kids here, there, and yonder. They've got lessons to get to and ball practices and everything else. If I had come home when I was working full time after also sitting at ball practices till 6 and 7 in the evening, and you told me I had to spend all evening pressure canning something, I would have died. But Mama can do that now. Even with what all I have going on with my husband and everything else, I am prioritizing canning, dehydrating, and things like that. So I'm working on it. And if you want to have your pantry really stocked with a lot of things, please do not only focus on heirlooms. Heirlooms can be beautiful. Heirlooms can just taste wonderful. But so can hybrids. And hybrids a lot of times will give you a lot more production. Just take, for instance, a tomato. I was reading about a tomato the other day in a seed catalog, a hybrid, and it was saying that it could produce up to 40 pounds of tomatoes per bush. Now, I'm growing another tomato in my garden this year, kind of more for me, not so much worrying if I'm going to sell it. I just want to try it out. But it's called a Claude Brown's Yellow Giant tomato. Well, I'm hoping it does good. I'm hoping. I bought the seeds, come from Appalachia. I'm growing them down here in South Louisiana. I'm hoping it does good. I mean, I'm hoping. But I also am not expecting to get these vines with just hanging clusters of tomatoes on it. I'm just hoping I can grow a few of these beautiful yellow tomatoes that are supposed to get up to 3 pounds, you know, because I just want to try that variety. I would not hinge my grandkids' meals on that variety. It may turn out good, but I would not hinge it on that variety. If I had to sit here and only think of my grandchildren and only think of what food I'm putting up, I would probably skip all the heirlooms and go straight to a few hybrids that are supposed to be just gangbusters. That's what I would do. Now, you have to look at things different ways. Okay, if your only goal is for when times get just extremely tough to be able to save seeds, I get it. I do. I get it. I want to save seeds too. But if you want to now plant things and have a bumper crop of production to where you can get in your kitchen and put up, you know, a wall of something, tomato sauce, pureed tomatoes, tomato juice, you know, salsas, whatever you want to do. If you want to do that now, you may want to go with hybrids now. And you may want to keep a lot of hybrid seeds in your seed bank, whatever you're collecting, whatever you're going to store for the next few years. Keep them in there. No, you may not want to save seeds from them later. You may not want to, but that's okay. If you've got plenty of seeds put back and they're hybrids and you're going to plant them and they're going to grow bumper crops, then who cares if they're not an heirloom? Do you understand what I'm saying? Who cares if they're not an heirloom? Hybrids get a bad name because people mix them up with like GMO seeds, like these genetically modified seeds where they actually change the DNA. They might change the DNA in corn or change the DNA in peas and do experiments where they put these things kind of together to grow a certain kind of something, you know, that they can harvest and grind up and put into flours or burgers or whatever it is, you know. That's not what I'm talking about. All I'm talking about is a good looking plant that's going to put off a lot of fruit or vegetables, you know, depending on what it is, that just came from a mom and a dad that they put together to make what they're hoping is a better plant. So please don't cross hybrids off your list. I just am worried that a lot of people are starting to get the wrong information. And the reason I say this is because I was on the comments of a video last night, and bless her heart, a woman was saying, everybody keeps saying to get heirlooms, but I don't know all about heirlooms. I'm not even sure what to buy. Can y'all give me some ideas on some good heirlooms I need to get? She was so confused and so frantic, and I just tried to answer her in a calm way. I hope it helped. I hope, you know, briefly explained it to her. But then I started thinking, you know, I'm like, how many people are out there freaking out that they need to find heirloom seeds? And sometimes the heirlooms cost a little more, you know, and I understand that. Sometimes they cost a little more. So, you know, why go pay more to just make sure you have heirloom seeds in your seed bank when you could be putting up a wall of food using hybrids? Let me just show you. I want to just show that I do save seeds and I do grow heirlooms, and I save the seeds from a lot of things I grow. I'm all into it. I'm all into it, so I get it. I get why people are saying that. These are some painted pony beans that I saved from last year. I've got Good Mother Stollard beans that I saved from Baker Creek. I have more in this jar than came in the original pack. So, I mean, I'm growing my collection. Same thing with Hadaxa Shield. These are Hadaxa Shield seeds. They're beautiful. I love saving seeds, so I'm all about it. This isn't a video to try to sell you on hybrids like they're the best thing in the world. I love heirloom seeds. These are Fort Portal Jade seeds. And I'm glad I saved them because I noticed Baker Creek doesn't have them in their catalog this year. Lena Cisco's bird egg seeds. It's the bush bean seed I saved. So you see what I'm talking about. I save seeds. I do. But I also love hybrids. So let me tell you this. Let me show you some seed packets that I have and explain a little bit more of why some hybrid seeds might be a good thing for you. Okay, this is a Tasty Lee tomato seed from Territorial Seeds. And you'll see it says right here, F1. That's an F1 hybrid. That's okay. I bought them because I knew it was a hybrid, and that's okay. These have great flavor. They're all going to say that probably. Heightened nutrition. Another thing this has is extended shelf life. This hybrid was bred to have an extended shelf life. Once you cut it off the vine, you don't have to worry that you're going to come set it in your kitchen window and it's going to be a rotten mess in 3 days. That helps when you're trying to save things to get together to can. But it also says in here that it's deep green, determinate plants that are aggressive producers and provide good leaf cover. The leaf cover keeps the tomatoes from getting sun scald, but it says they're aggressive producers and it's a determinate plant. And what does that mean? A determinate plant just means that it flowers and bears fruit and puts off all the fruit all in a short period of time. From the time you see the flowers on these bushes, which will kind of come on there all at once, to the time they start setting tomatoes and growing, to the time you harvest them, you know, could be just in a few weeks. And they all kind of come off at the same time, within a few days. So if you want to grab them all off the bush within, you know, say 3 or 4 day period, and get in here and put up tomatoes, a determinate plant is great for you. And this hybrid, I haven't grown it yet, but I can tell you it's probably very prolific. And if I had to feed my grandbabies, I would rather have a hybrid that is putting me off a bumper crop of tomatoes than to hang my hat on the Claude Brown Yellow Giant that I'm just going to be experimenting on this year. Another thing, and these two are basically the same, but I wanted to show you. This is a cucumber seed packet from Johnny's. Okay, it's a hybrid, but it's also a greenhouse cucumber. And I have seeds for a pepper, same thing, seeds for a pepper. And the reason they call them greenhouse cucumbers and peppers is because they're hybrids and they were bred specifically to not need pollinators, which are bees, butterflies, wasps, things like that, that, you know, transfer pollen from one plant to the other to pollinate all your seeds. So if I were in a situation where I were wanting to feed my grandbabies a lot, make up a lot of pickles, ferment a lot of pickles, do things like that, because that's what we needed to put on our shelf to have food, that hybrid, first of all, is probably going to produce a lot. It may produce a lot more than some of the little heirlooms I bought. Some of the hybrids are bred for production. The heirlooms just happen to be productive because that's how they are, if you happen to have an heirloom that's that way. The hybrids are bred for a lot of production. And then on top of that, if you can have seeds that don't need pollinators, that's wonderful, because you don't always know if your bee population is going to be around. You don't always know that you're just going to have butterflies and wasps flying everywhere, you know, pollinating your plants. So if you could for sure have a few things like peppers, like tomatoes, like cucumbers, and procure some seeds that don't necessarily need pollinators, that's just a bonus. That's wonderful. I brought this seed packet. This is an heirloom. But my point on this packet is to show that some of these packets don't say what they are. If you're in the store, if you're in the grocery store or Home Depot or wherever, and you're looking at seeds, this packet right here is an old heirloom. It's the Roma VF. It's kind of like Amish paste tomatoes. It's that kind of tomato. It doesn't say it's an heirloom on here. I had to go on the internet to find that out. So if you're standing there, I probably would have just thought this was a hybrid and walked away. But it's not. So I'm happy to know that I just decided to grow it anyway. We're not really caring at the time what it was. And I happen to know that it's very prolific. It is an heirloom, but it's very prolific. So that's a good thing. But I will grow this again because I know that. There's some other heirlooms I'm not hanging my hat on to feed my grandbabies, because while I like the tomatoes, they gave me some good ones, and then that was about it. You have to balance it. You have to decide what's your priority. Is my priority putting up food? Is my priority having things I can slice and dehydrate? Is your priority to have an abundance of vegetables to put up? Or is your priority just to save seeds and maybe to eat fresh and to save seeds? You know, you really need to think about it. Before you listen to all the comments telling you to avoid hybrid seeds, you really need to think about these points. Just keep these points in mind. Read those comments with the spirit they're given. The people that are giving them truly, truly want to help other people. They truly want to let people know that you can save seeds, and that the only ones you can really save the seeds from to really, truly get a good crop next time is from an heirloom. But I'm begging you, if you're at the stores, do not walk away from hybrid seeds that might help you have more production. they might help you to have plants that won't just wither and crumble from blight or soil-borne diseases. If they say on there that they have good disease packages, which just means they've been bred for resistance for certain diseases. If they say that on those packages and everything, please consider them. It's better to have plants that'll live, that you can and put up, than it is to have plants that'll get, attacked and be gone. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to come to you this afternoon from my pantry. I'm so blessed, and I truly, truly appreciate all that this channel has given me, and I just wanted to share a little bit with you. I'm Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. Please get busy canning. Get busy water bath canning, pressure canning. Get busy dehydrating, freeze drying, growing. Just get busy. It's time. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.